Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Adobe Premiere scripting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you all about QE, which is the sort of extended scripting abilities built into Adobe Premiere scripting. These will give you a ton of extra functionalities and access that you wouldn't get in the already limited Premiere scripting. So today I'm going to be going over all the methods and properties you can access, whether it's at the project level, inside of the source, and all different types of things that you can access and do outside of the regular scripting guide. Before we get started, I do want to remind you down below, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly on the channel. And down in the description, you can check out all of these methods and the code in the GitHub link, and it will be continually updated as I go through and test these, make sure I have the right arguments and comment things. That way we'll have this for future use in case if anything ever gets deleted or if more things disappear. As you may know, sometimes the forums and things lose a lot of information, so it's good to have multiple ways to learn. And also down in the description, you can follow us on Instagram to get live updates on when we come out with new videos. And of course, make sure you join the Discord server and get help with lots of different subjects in the Adobe universe, as well as help others out with questions, submit tutorial ideas, and share products you've worked on. And if you want to help support the channel and get some cool perks along with it, you can become a member, supporter, premium supporter, and VIP, and get cool perks as well as emojis and these little badges. So let's go ahead and get started with this video. I'm basically going to be going over all of these of the most useful QE properties that I went through and got. And these are going to be different methods that will do actions to different levels inside of Premiere, or properties to access properties of certain objects, whether it's like a project name or how long your clip is and things like that. So whenever you want to basically enable these settings, you want to create a variable. So I just called mine QE. And you want to run the method app.enableQE. This will enable it on an application-wide level and allow us to basically access all of these. And since I still have ExtendScript and have access to view all of this stuff, I'm going to basically be going through all the stuff that I found to be the best. And in the future, I'll go through and make an entire extensive list of everything, including their arguments. So let's just start with the list. The first thing are the global QE properties that we just apply to the whole sort of application of Premiere itself, not a specific project or sequence. The first one is the exit command, which will exit the entire application. And now let's just go ahead and go through the list here and explain what each one does. We can get the sequence presets, and this will give you a list of all of those presets that appear when you go up to create a new sequence. And these are all of your presets here, and they have basically different resolutions and frame rates, and that's going to give you an access to each one of those. You can also grab whatever language the current application is running in for specific purposes. You can grab the location on the hard drive that the application is actually located in. You can grab the name of the application. You can create a new project in the application. You can open a project, and of course some of these are going to require arguments, and if you try it yourself and get an error, then you'll need to try putting in, a file, a path, a name, or something like that. But as time goes on, we'll just keep adding more and more to this GitHub and make sure we have all those included. You can output to the console. You can check the platform that you're currently on. And some of the cool, useful global ones that I actually use quite often in extensions are the playbacks. So you can actually control, whenever you have a sequence open, the current time indicator and start playing it or stopping it. And all you have to do that is call start playback, or you can stop or stop the playback. And that's one cool thing I like to do with actual extensions is once like the user has imported a file or something into Premiere or into the sequence, it will start playing automatically, so that way they can see the changes immediately. Now we'll move on to some project level QE items. If you've already initialized your variable with the QE, enable QE thing, you can go ahead and grab the project, and this will give us access to all of the QE methods and properties for whatever Premiere project we have open. So first, you can close your specific project, and of course this won't close the application because you can have multiple projects open in Premiere. You can get the current renderer name, whether you're using Mercury or one of the other playback engines. You can delete the preview files and flush your cache, which will be good if you have low memory or just need to refresh things a bit. And now some very useful ones that I also use quite a bit. You can get an audio effect by the name. So all you have to do is say like type in if there's a filter effect, you just type in the name of it, and it will then return that actual value for you. You can also get a full list of all the audio effects installed if you need to run through and find them yourself. You can also get all those audio transitions by name or a whole list of them. So next you have get bin at, get item at, and get sequence at. These will all allow you to get items from within your project panel based on their index. So if you get the item at 2, it's going to give you the second one. And say if you get the bin number 2, it's going to go down for all the bins and get you that one. This is kind of like saving you time for just doing a for loop and checking what kind of item each project item is. So that's very useful. And you can also get video effects by the name, and I've used this before in my tutorial on how to add effects via a Premiere script. And you can also, of course, get all of the video effects, get a video transition by its name, or a list of all the installed transitions. Then some cool import features. We can just have a general import. We can import all of the After Effects comps, or just certain ones based on this, and those arguments might be based on the file or the After Effects project itself. We also have the option to import a large amount of files or a batch number of files by providing an array of files. You can import another project. You can grab the name of the current project, and some also useful things is creating new project items that are available in this menu here. A lot of times you'll need to create a black solid, a bars and tone, or an adjustment layer. So you can call a new bars and tone object, a new bin, a new black video, a new caption, or a new sequence, or even a new transparent video. Then lastly, a few properties of our project we can read. We can get the number of bins that are in there, which is just the number of folders. We can get the number of items altogether, and we can even get the specific number of sequence items and the number of sequences contained inside of our project here. And again, those are really useful because usually you have to set up a custom for loop and then check each item if it's a sequence or a bin and then count them and do all sorts of things. And then you can also get the path to your project, and the last two here you can redo and undo. Now I haven't actually tested these very much, but I have tried to create my own sort of undo groups before, and it is somewhat possible, but there are some like undos that don't undo enough steps, so there are some complexities and little things to it, but this actually does work slightly. So if you've ever wanted to look into like making your own Premiere undo group or something like that, definitely look at these and test them out. Lastly, we're going to look at the QE source methods and properties. So these are basically going to apply to any of our source clips that we've imported. For example, if we have a piece of footage, we have lots of options like to change the in and out points of this, and lots of other options if we want to just have the audio or video, and this will give us access to any of our source footage here. So to actually access one of these sources, you can't just call your QE variable.source. You need to actually get one of the source project items, which we can actually use one of our project methods to get that. So you could use maybe get bin at or get item at. We're probably going to want to get an item since it is a piece of footage. So let's say you get the first piece of footage and then the source, and now we have access to changing all of these type of things. So you can clear the in and out point of your clip, which again are these guys here. So if you had some custom setups or you wanted to reset all of your in and out points you set, you can do that. You can also grab the duration of the entire clip, the file path to the source of the clip, as well as the name of that project item or clip. And you can even go in and get specific details like setting the audio in and out point as well as the video in and out point if you're only dealing with one part of the media or if it's just a single piece of audio or footage. And then of course you can set the in and out points to custom setup where these want to go. So if you had a bunch of clips with the same duration and you needed to sort of just grab those in and out points and then import them into a sequence, you could run through all of your items and change those in and out points. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. That's how to use and access the QE object model inside of Premiere Pro scripting. Again, I'm going to be updating this on GitHub to put in all the arguments required, comment it, and add any more methods and properties that I didn't put in here. These are just the most useful and used ones for myself. And if there's ever anything big that I discover really useful in here, I might make a totally separate video and update you guys on that as well. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly on the channel. And of course, check out the GitHub link to check this document out, which will be updated and you can submit updates too if you wish. And down in the description, follow us on Instagram to be notified of when videos go live and other cool information. And of course, be sure to join the Discord server, get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, submit tutorial ideas, and share things you're working on. And lastly, a reminder, if you want to help support the channel, you can become a member, supporter, premium supporter, or VIP and get cool perks and help support this channel. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.